collided with the planet size of Mars. This is what researchers say. According to researchers at Rice University in Houston, life on Earth was caused by the collision of the planet with another large celestial body, and that led to the formation of our moon. This is on Disclosed TV, and other links I'll leave below for you. The results of the study were published by the professional portal Eureka Alert. Most of the vital elements present on Earth, including the greater part of carbon and nitrogen, may come from another planet, scientists suspect, because there was a collision with another planet. Planetary collision that formed the moon is what made life possible on Earth, according to the new study by Rice University. They carried out experiments to simulate the extreme conditions under which the geochemical reactions that led to the formation of the chemical composition of the planet's crust and mantle took place. The hypothesis that the sulfur-rich nucleus of foreign planets pushed the carbon and nitrogen into the outer layers was confirmed, since a high concentration of sulfur in the melt reduces the solubility of various volatile compounds. Consequently, the proportion of carbon and nitrogen in the crust of the foreign planet was greater than the Earth's crust, and according to the results of the computer modeling, which took into account about 1 billion different scenarios, the current ratio of carbon and nitrogen, as well as the isotope content, but also the total amount of nitrogen and carbon and sulfur on the Earth, are as in the catastrophic scenario of the formation of the moon. According to this scenario, 4.4 billion years ago, the Earth collided with a planet the size of Mars, which had a sulfur-rich core. If this had not been the case, the accessible chemical substances necessary for the existence of the biosphere would simply not have been efficient, according to the researchers. And it's not only on Earth that this happens. This happens in other planets that suffer violent collisions. Another source from the University of California. Summary is 2 planets in orbit around a mature sun-like star recently suffered a violent collision. Astronomers reported, quote, "It's as if Earth and Venus collided with each other." This is what Benjamin Zuckerman, UCLA professor of physics and astronomy and a co-author of the paper, "Astronomers have never seen anything like this before." Apparently, major catastrophic collisions take place in a fully mature planetary system. 2 terrestrial planets orbiting a mature sun-like star some 300 light-years from Earth recently suffered a violent collision. Astronomers at UCLA, Tennessee State University, and the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, will report in the December issue of Astrophysical Journal. This was written in 2008, so it was about 10 years ago that this was written. Quote, "It's as if Earth and Venus collided with each other." And astronomers have never seen anything like this before. Apparently, major catastrophic collisions take place in a fully mature planetary system. If any life was present on either planet, the massive collision would have wiped out everything in a matter of minutes. The ultimate extinction event, said co-author Gregory Henry, the astronomer at Tennessee State University, TSU. A massive disk of infrared-emitting dust circling the star provides silent testimony to this sad fate. That is what happened. Zuckerman, Henry, and Michael Muno, an astronomer at Caltech at the time of the research, were studying a star known as BD plus 2307, which is surrounded by a shocking 1 million times more dust than is orbiting our sun. The star is located in the constellation Aries. The astronomers gathered X-ray data using the orbiting Chandra X-ray Observatory and brightness data from one of TSU's automated telescopes in southern Arizona, hoping to measure the age of the star. Muno said, "We expected to find that BD plus 2307 was relatively young, a few 100 million years old at most, with a massive dust ring signaling the final stages in the formation of the star's planetary system." Those expectations were shown to be premature because when Carnegie Institute of Washington astronomer Alicia Weinberger announced in the May 20th, 2008 issue of Astrophysical Journal that BD plus 2307 was actually a close binary star, two stars orbiting around their common center of mass. Quote, that discovery radically revised the interpretation of the data and transformed the star into a unique and intriguing system, end quote, said TSU astronomer Francis Feckel, who along with TSU's Michael Williamson was asked to provide additional spectroscopic data from another TSU automated telescope in Arizona to assist in comprehending this exceptional binary system. The new spectroscopic data confirmed that BT plus 2307 is composed of two stars, both very similar in mass, temperature, and size to our own Sun. They orbit about their common center of mass every 3.42 days. Quote, the patterns of element abundances in the stars show that they are much older than a few 100 million years as originally thought, Fenkel said, and he explained instead the binary system appears to have an age of several billion years comparable to our solar system. The planetary collision in BT plus 2307 was not observed directly, but rather was inferred from the extraordinary quantity of dust particles that orbit the binary star at about the same distance as Earth and Venus are from our Sun. Henry said, if this dust does indeed point to the presence of terrestrial planets, then this representation represents the first known examples of planets of any mass in orbit around a close binary star, end quote. Zuckerman and colleagues first reported in the journal Nature in July 2005 that BD plus 2307, then still thought to be a single star, was surrounded by more warm orbiting dust than any other Sun-like star known to astronomers. The dust is orbiting the binary system very closely, where Earth-like planets are most likely to be and where the dust typically cannot survive very long. Small dust particles get pushed away by stellar radiation, while larger pieces get reduced to dust in collisions with the disk and are then whisked away. Thus, the dust-forming collision near BD plus 2307 must have taken place rather recently, probably within the past few 100,000 years, and perhaps much more recently, the astronomer said. Quote, this poses two very interesting questions. How do planetary orbits become destabilized in such an old, mature system? And could such a collision happen in our solar system? The stability of planetary orbits in our own solar system has been considered for nearly 2 decades by astronomer Jacques Lascar in France, and more recently by Konstantin Batygin and Greg Lawlin in the US. You remember them. They were the ones that said there must be a planet 9 because there are perturbations in the planets of our outer solar system. Anyway, Henry noted that their computer models predict planetary motions into the distant future, and they find a small probability of collisions of Mercury with Earth or Venus sometime in the next billion years or more. Oh, how nice. We have that to look forward to now. It's not just the asteroids or comets coming at us. It's, Bennu and Apophis or whatever. Now we have, which Apophis, by the way, is a small planet. It's not an asteroid. And they're having in 3 years, 2022, they want to push that out of the way with a spacecraft. I don't think it's going to work, but anyway, they'll try to do something. They have to keep humanity alive. But then we also have one of our planets coming at us to collide with us in the next billion years. Now, the small probability of this happening may be related to the rarity of very dusty planetary systems like BD plus 2307. Zuckerman said, there is no question, however, that major collisions have occurred in our solar system's past. Many astronomers believe our moon was formed from the grazing collision of two planetary embryos, the young Earth and a body about the size of Mars, a crash that created tremendous debris, some of which condensed to form the moon, and some of which went into the orbit around the young sun. By contrast with the massive crash in the BD plus 2307 system, the collision of an asteroid with Earth 65 million years ago, the most favored explanation for the final demise of the dinosaurs, was a mere pipsqueak. In the 1932 novel When Worlds Collide, science fiction writers Philip Wiley and Edwin Ballmer envisioned the destruction of Earth by a collision with the planet of a passing star. The 1951 classic movie based on the novel began a line of adventure stories of space rocks apocalyptically plowing into Earth. Zuckerman noted, but there is no evidence near BD plus 2307 of any such passing star. This research was federally funded by the National Science Foundation and NASA, and also by Tennessee State University in the state of Tennessee through its Centers of Excellence program. And this was on Science Daily. I'll leave links below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.